All right, get those hands. So let me ask y'all this: do you all think that law enforcement in Philly is, well, I can just say in general, do you think that law enforcement is improving, or do you still have to make changes, or what do you think has been going on? Because all that stuff with Chamber Martin, all that stuff was cool, but right outside these streets right here, that type of stuff is still going on. So what's good? What's going on with that? How do y'all feel?
Our race will never see the right. We will never get the right. I want to say we would never succeed with the law. I feel like.
You think he's still 3/5 of a person, or you think?
I just
say, you know we run stuff, but we don't run stuff. So
I just feel like
I
just feel like our race really. And when it come to court, we lose. We lose a lot. And
is that because of lawyers or why?
Could be lawyers, could be officers. Like it's overall thing.
Yeah, I mean, my answer kind of goes to like the question you had earlier where I was talking about the tools with the, the hair clippers and everything. Like, I'm kind of on the 50-50 with that because, I have friends that are cops. I have family members that are cops. Like, I have family members that are CEOs. I have, lifetime long friends. Like, my best friend from, like, elementary school is a cop. So it's like, it's a battle between like a line, and I feel like that very thin line that's in the world between police and not being police is like it's so thin that, but you gotta really trail and trample on that line because it just takes a little overstep for it to make a whole bunch of pollution and a mess. And then also on the same side, it takes one or two bad officers don't make the whole bunch bad. And I know it's hard to have the perception of not having them all look bad, but everything ain't all bad and everything ain't all good. Like, that's why I like yin and yang. Like, somebody can be good and bad, and somebody can be bad and good. We all do good, we all do bad. So, police at the end of the day, they regular people. They, some of them are corrupt as hell. They gotta be under the trash. They should be the ones in the jail. Some of them are, I know cops never pull guns on, and they 30 years they're using the force or whatever the case is. I work at a bank. We have officers come in, all the time and work on our stuff, and I feel safe with them. And they black cops, sometimes it's white cops, whatever the case is. But I feel like the main thing that we need to go back to, regardless of whatever time frame you're talking about, is community policing, where cops are knowing, okay, I just took Nico's son, whatever the case is, whatever. But I know Nico from the block. I know he up here. I know which one called out a bad kid. I know what school he in. Like, us knowing and getting more integrated versus it being more separated. The more separate we go, the harder it's going to be. And if we want to get to any type of resolution, whatever that is, from Martin Luther King Jr. to Malcolm X type stuff, we all got to shake hands. And even in war, you got to shake hands. Enemies can be enemies, but you can have respect. You can have boundaries. Geneva Convention. You can have lines. That's all it is. The world ain't nothing but boundaries and walls to keep us from all doing crazy stuff to each other. That's all it is for.
I agree with a lot of what you said. I think as men, we got to know how to navigate society, right? Yeah. So we got to navigate relationships on the job. We got to navigate relationships amongst each other. And we got to navigate relationships with police officers. Yeah. So when they stop us, like I see a lot of young brothers or even sisters, man, when the cops stop, yo, what the fuck you stop people? What's up? Like that elevates their anxiety. You understand? Look, I got family members that are cops. No question about it. I know some cops who mentor me coming up. Are there some dirty cops out there? Absolutely. I've been involved in stops where the cops have roughed me up. I had a cop stop me one time at lunch, looking at me like, give me a reason. I'm a young boy. I'm looking at him like, yo, what the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? But I've had decent communication with cops when they stop me and you just, what's going on, officer? What you need? You have all your stuff, your documents ready. Boom, there you go. Boom. We got to teach our youth to handle themselves professionally in that exchange. Because if you give them professionalism, most times they're going to give you that back. Now, is there some racist ones? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I know other people got other experiences. Now, if you want to sit out here and protest police brutality, yeah, I'll be out there with you too. Because I know it's some piece of shit cops out there. But I'm still going to present the other side because I want to give 360 degrees of knowledge on the whole situation. I don't just want to be one side, say fuck cops. Because at the end of the day, who's gonna show up when somebody break in and bring you a crib?
I was about to say that.
It's gonna be a cop. Don't get me wrong. I got artillery. But police. Now, I handle something with some artillery. I'm still might get locked up.
That's cool and all, but where's our apology at?
Yeah, exactly.
Big time.
Hold on, I like PF. You know, I love PF. Got poems that talk about like. But first, no disrespect to Philadelphia. No disrespect to Philadelphia and all these police. But where's our apology at for the Rizzo years?
Right.
First of all, don't even. My thing. See, this is the thing I don't like about government that forgets what happened to us.
They want us to
Go
forget.
through, listen, this, and I didn't even notice, my mom told me what happened through the Rizzo years in Philadelphia. How they was beating people, bro, they was beating people up.
They stop with frisk.
They was making people do confessions. It was, listen, the Rizzo years in Philadelphia was so horrific that people are still scared of the cops because of what they was doing back then. And then, with all respect, statistically, we still being pulled over more than any other race.
That's true.
Statistically, we're still locked up more than any other race, not being represented. Where's our apology? So no disrespect when we say we love the black cops. Statistically, it's still being proven that we are racially still being sought after and not being treated equally. So until I get my apology, I just don't know what to say to them. Then they come to your car.
And bitch, let me ask
with
you a
all
question.
respect,
Somebody breaking your house, what you doing?
I have no choice.
What you doing? Somebody breaking your crib?
Protecting yourself.
Hold on, I'm asking ambitious. Ambitious. What? Hold on. What you doing? Somebody breaking your
I
crib?
have no choice.
Do you need an apology to call the police?
But with all respect,
Hold on, answer the question.
But I'm just.
Do you
let
need
me
an
tell you,
apology?
I do. I call
If
them.
somebody breaking the crib for you to call
I
the
gotta
police.
call the police.
And that's the separation right there.
Because
we
if I-
all
but
be
if
like,
I call
hold on.
them,
We all
here's
be
the
like,
thing
F the
though.
police.
If I call them,
And they broke into
You see what I'm saying?
but they'll still kill me by accident.
But he still gonna call him though.
But you know
But he
what?
want an apology.
You know what you're saying?
It don't make sense.
You going deep,
We
right?
are
But they say you can't
traumatizing
protect
ourselves.
yourself.
Hold on, time out. I'm not saying I didn't say nothing about protecting yourself. I'm talking about traumatizing yourself. Rizzo years. What year was that? Tell me what year. Hold on, Luke. What year are you talking about?
70, 80?
78. Well, how old were you?
No, I wasn't alive.
Why are you associating yourself with happened back then? Why was that?
excuse me.
Time out.
Excuse me.
Look, hold on. That's a cause and effect.
Wait.
Time out. Hold
During
on.
the riots, they still was disrespecting people.
Listen to me. Why are you associating yourself with that? That's the disconnect. You are connecting yourself with trauma that you. If it didn't happen to you, I'm not
Excuse
saying.
me, I'm a black
Time out.
man.
I'm not saying if it
in a
don't happen
country
to you.
where we're still
Look,
being racist.
if it don't happen to you, I'm not saying it shouldn't affect you. However, it shouldn't control you.
It do
It's
affect me.
controlling your
Well, my car. Wait.
Hold
Let me
on.
just give you an example.
You just
Let me
now
give you an
said out
example.
your mouth that if something happened to you, you calling people that you want an apology from. Is that not fake or phony? Is that not fake or phony? Is that not fake or phony? Let's be real. All right, is that not fake or phony? Hold on, time out. Somebody do something to you on the street, ambitious. Hold on.
Then they're gonna say that.
Somebody ambitious. Somebody do something to you on the street. They don't give you an apology. You gonna call that person and say, "Yo, man, I know who just stole your car. I watched them do it."
No, excuse
you're
me.
not
I
gonna do
watched
it.
y'all
That's
sit.
fake.
Excuse me. I watched
That's
y'all
fake
sit
and phony,
here
bro.
and try to balance between should I not say something bad about cops when I called, they robbed my car. I'm at Second and Island. I live here now.
But you're still
I was at
wrong.
Second. Oh, excuse me. I was at Second and Island when them YNs they stole my car. Second and Island. This happened a year ago. I called the cops. I'm just telling the truth. I called. This is real non-disparate. I hate when people talk theory. I'm talking real experience.
Real facts.
I called the
every 3
cops.
seconds.
Bro, they robbed me. I called the cops and said, yo, they stole the kid. The kid boys got me. Can you help me? You know what they told me? They said, yo, you gotta go down to the police precinct and file a report. I said, no. I actually have the tracker right now. They right there on 7th Street. Come help me. He says, no, we can't help you until you put a report. I said, I can't do that. I got in the car and got my kid back. I could have died. Now, had I killed the boy who stole my car, they would have locked me up. When I called the next day, I said, yo, they robbed my car. Can the police help me out? They're not coming. They will never come. And had I killed that boy or had I died, Oh well, why was he chasing somebody? Why did he leave his car unlocked? So with all respect, with all respect,
because the original question was the state of law enforcement at the present time, right now. You want to go deep, right to the 70s. Well, and I get that part because from a clinical standpoint, which is my background in the sense, you got to talk about the antecedents, right? The antecedents of why the behavior is and why the relationship is the way it is. How do we get there? We got there because of even before the Rizzo years. I researched the Rizzo years. You're right. They would have people stripping them naked in the streets. You understand? It's horrific. It's trauma. But how do we heal from that? How do we heal from that? So on the flip side, I hear your side because how do we heal from that? Do we keep opening up old wounds, tearing off the old wounds? All right? Or do we heal and start to move forward? Now, all we're going to do is teach ourselves the same thing. If this shit keeps happening.
You think you're going to really heal from it?
No.
It's never going to be, with all respect, the relationship with police will never be.
I get it. But
he is correct.
But then now you're talking about, you got to go back to the African diaspora now. If you go all the way back, they still healing. And they trying to heal. We're trying to rebuild Africa. So we're going to go deeper. Let us go there.
I'm just saying.
But what happens when we
about
have this
police?
mentality, ambitious, what happens when we had this mentality about what happened 30, 40, 50 years ago? All we going to do is teach our kids the same exact thing. No. I'm just saying. Oh, F the police, if something happens,
No, it's happening right now. They was fighting over it in West Philly, and the guy gun goes off. No, they was fighting. The kids was fighting.
Because somebody just, we talking about George Floyd, somebody just died in our city and nothing happened. Why are you talking about George Floyd?
Because George Floyd is a problem.
Bro, there seems to be war when all the Muslims was out there. The cops was pushing them out.
No, because I was actually there.
Nobody did nothing.
No, those kids were doing some bad stuff. You can't have it both ways.
Bro,
But young YNs shouldn't be fighting people and breaking their stuff. I was there. I was with the police. Yeah, I was there. That's what I'm saying. No, they didn't get that story right.
Everybody in City Hall.
Yes.
And talk to God.
I was there.
I wouldn't do it.
Really example for that too, bro. So I'm not even like, I have no debate. No, nothing what you said is
why he had to get killed? Why you had a cop that worked with help?
Because when we go back to social media, all this stuff is connected. If you go back to social media, look at how our youth are using social media. Do drills on each other. It's creating that culture of like, they don't give a fuck about life. So now, when one of our youth died that was for the people,
in our city,
nobody really give a fuck.
In our city, nobody got nothing to say. Everybody, oh, he was a loving young boy. Oh, he didn't get killed by the cops. Exactly. And that's the trauma that I want to break from the American people. That was it. The trauma, bro.
The police can't speak on what we do.
You missed the whole conversation.
They have no authority. Hold on, I'm just saying real fast.
I'm about to say, because with that last topic they used to say.
Because a black man.
No, that guy, the rap, y'all talking about that rapper.
Yeah, LGBT.
Yeah, LGBT somebody.
LGBT quad.
Here's the problem they were saying. If a cop would have shot him, everybody be up in arms. But since one of our own shot him, now everybody's like, damn,
bro,
that's good.
Are y'all trying to? This is what I hate about this argument.
That's hypocrite.
Bro,
that is literally being hypocrite.
You really comparing black? You comparing the vibes of our neighborhood to the way police have been doing whatever they've been doing since the founding of this country.
No. Like Troy said. We wasn't born then. Now, I do never say forget history. I would never say that. But at some point, you do have to move on from it a little bit.
Move on?
Yes.
So
no. I'm gonna say it's really clear.
Yeah, bitches, if you don't move on from it, you're gonna be stagnant. Right there.
I'm going to keep the government accountable for being racist, for being no disrespect. Statistically proven. Statistically proven.
No. Never forget. This is what I'm saying. This is what I mean by move on. We move on from it as in always keep it in history books. Always teach our sons, our daughters, other races about what happened. But at some point, I can't be like, I'm just going to use Nico as an example. Oh, bro, I'm not talking to you because you white, this, that, and the third. You don't understand what I've been through. Instead, I'm not. Once again, I'm using it as an example. Yes, I'm using it as an example. At the end of the day, at some point we do have to move on and start coming together. At some point, we gotta find a way to what can we do? What can we do better? At some point,
You walking on the
It may not be you, bro. You might be in the somebody got to do it,
that's
bro.
the issue. These talks. For real, to be honest with you, we should be having some cops in here. I don't tell everybody. I am a federal agent.
But for what?
But that's
you got the right one.
I am a federal
Had a cop in here for
So,
what?
and that's what I'm saying. To talk and say,
When they
hey, yo,
think like
bro.
a white man, for what?
And that's
Black,
my-
if
and
they're
that's my
black and
problem.
got the idea set of a white man,
And
for what?
that's the problem. See, if I was white,
So he don't have to be
Go
here.
ahead. Okay.
That cop ain't gotta be here. And a lot of us, we talk that black stuff, but we ain't helping one another. And we see each
We're
other.
on the
we
same
see-
side here.
Hold on,
That part.
not you. I'm saying collectively speaking. We see each other and it's negative soon as we see each other. Correct?
But yeah, because
Black man.
hostility, just like war. You got
Even with business.
Yeah.
Anything. We rather go get the food from them and everything from them. Education system, everything.
Yeah, I'm good.
Everything is from them.
Listen, this ain't our country. So it's kind of letting go sometimes. I think that's what people forget. This ain't
Have them in here holding their hand and all that.
I think we should have them in
black.
I think we should have them in here because they mind. Some of them minds can be changed. You gotta think they know what they know.
Are you crazy?
That's why.
I'm not saying no. I do think it's possible.
Do you know? Hold on. Can you get this? Do you know? Do you know when you keep repeating the same thing over and over and over? You know that's the definition of insanity.
Yes.
Why do you keep trying to change some people that don't want to be changed?
I don't think it's about changing people. I think about some of them don't literally hear this at all. Like some of these white cops, it's like, and some of them, I don't think, some of them not hearing it. I'm telling you. Like,
Yo, they've been on the planet for 6,000 years.
and that's how dumb they ass is. They still not hearing it.
That's not right, man.
Because anywhere they go,
But the
they
cop,
kill and murder.
the cop,
If they find people on Mars, they kill people on Mars, bro. That's what they do.
no, stop it. They're not. I'm just
I
saying,
don't
they're not
know
your
about all
friend.
that.
Thank you. There it
But
is.
they're not my enemy either. I'm more thinking beats than
Collectively
Hold
speaking, hold on. Collectively speaking, the majority of them are.
That's not valid. You cannot say that.
But you want to
It's
you
gonna
invite
say
them to
the
the I'm saying it's like,
Yeah, I fight some
Yo, you got a few that's the underground railroad. It always been like that.
Yeah.
But the majority of them are not on our team, bro. And the minute y'all start understanding that, we'll get somewhere. Stop worrying about everybody else and being their friend and worry about
So
yourself.
the only way, the only
That's
way to
the
combat that, the
We
way
don't
that
gotta
I'm
be friends, but we
talking,
gotta
is going back to
mutual
Black
respect.
Panthers from the Wild Wild West. And we not going, and we
They're not made to understand us and respect us. That's their nature. We're not the same.
Or we
That's what I'm saying. We are.
We are not.
Just
Call the
authority
cops
figure
because
to
of
protect
how
us.
Listen,
so we need to
them
hold
tell you that.
And that's what we
And
just
every time you try to put and play with them, it's just like the movie 12 Years a Slave. As soon as you start trusting them, you're gonna wind up just like the boy.
And another thing is, they talk about, what was it that
We disagree on that, though, but
No, I got history as a proof, and I got the president as the witness.
there's losses
And that's
in war
what we
all
got
the time.
history
Not
now,
everybody
that's what we
will
get.
somebody
You keep doing that, trying to hang with them.
somebody had to die.
I ain't say just hate them, but we are going to sit down and talk, have mutual respect for each other.
Man, we got
That's what
to.
he said.
Bro, that's not how it works.
Stop it.
I would disagree. I would
respect.
disagree.
You
Yeah.
been through that training.
I've seen it. I've seen it. I've been
Mutual.
through-
That's the
yes.
problem word in this world.
How old are you?
Mutual.
Huh? 31. Yeah.
I'm around long enough to know.
As equal as
You
we are.
wasn't even here.
No, we just come from two different generations, which I definitely I respect that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you gotta respect my generation just as much as
I do
I
respect.
respect
I've been touched like a mug. And I know what ain't
yours. And hold on, you think I don't have been tested either? Because you just disrespected me. I was
I
saying,
ain't disrespecting.
I'm gonna say this, and from my personal
I ain't
opinion,
disrespecting.
I'm gonna say from my personal
When I say
opinion.
disrespectful.
And I'm about to tell you right now, what you just said disrespectful to me. This is how actually I'll change it up. Let me change my phrase up real quick. What I took as just disrespect. You just said, "Oh, you're a young boy." I'm 31. I'm a grown man.
That's just what you are. You are young.
Yeah,
So
no.
when I say
No. Young boy.
But that's slang. That's slang.
Wait.
Slang.
Pause.
You a YN.
That's slang. Yo,
That's slang. I can easily replace that and say, my bad, you're a young man. But young boy wasn't derogatory.
Hold on.
Wasn't derogatory.
See, my man, look, see, yeah, I'm trying to come. Look, this is what I'm saying.
But wasn't derogatory.
So I'm saying,
I'll replace that with, you're a young man. Here we go.
So once again,
now, let's go.
So now, look, this is where we get to it. I'm telling you as a man, I took that disrespectfully. What you just did say, oh, guess what? You just 31 years old, you young man. No, I'm telling you, I'm grown man. No, wait, hold on.
I said you're a young
I'm not taking this as, no, I'm trying to tell you right now.
Who didn't see the 70s and the 80s. It was in context.
Okay, so this is where it goes back to again. That's your generation. Cool, I respect that. But what I've been through, my generation, my personal casualties, what I've been training for, what my personal development, I'm telling you as a grown man, one, I felt that was disrespectful. Two, I've been through things where I can compete and at least talk to you. Now, you got history that I'm not going to understand, but I can look at. But what I expect from you, the same as a man, is to look at my history and ask me what I've been through and to respect that.
I said you was a young man or a young boy in the context of what you didn't see.
I get you, and I'm telling you
that ain't
personally.
disrespect.
This is man.
No, hold on.
Thank you, my man. Right? No. It was in context.
Look, that's fine. Look, that's fine for them. If they believe, that's fine. I'm telling you though, I'm saying that context I don't like. That's why I'm
That's
saying.
what we be talking about at our age, where y'all a little sensitive.
See, and no, I'm not sensitive. See, that's what I'm talking about again.
I said what we say. I didn't say you are.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I know I ain't wrong. I said you're a young man.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that.
Hold on, guys.
Do y'all know what a generational curse is?
I know exactly.
Can each person or whoever want to speak just like
We can just talk about finances. You on that one, but go ahead.
because part of everything, that first question, like from the police to this, is all a part of generational curse. You know what I mean? Like when you understand the foundation of policing, it has been to police slaves. It was never about protection. It was about slaves. That nigga got away, go get it. You know what I mean? So you can't separate the foundation or the root of a thing from the head, from the end of the thing. So you heard of KRS-One?
Yeah.
He said 30 years ago there'd be no black cop. Like KRS-One was spitting game back then.
So
and it was
about with the judge being
exactly.
And it took me to get grown to really hear it.
Exactly.
He said the judge be the ship's captain. I was like,
trust it.
And watch this. This is
can't
what's
trust it,
crazy.
right?
Yes. I can only guess what's happened years ago.
Check it out.
Leadership's
It
captain.
took him years to catch that knowledge, but the years that it took to catch that knowledge is a dispensation of time that you do not have knowledge, meaning a generational curse is a dispensation of time that's you're in disobedience or you're ignorant. It's just not like, oh, my dad was drinking, so I don't drink anymore. That's just a small scale of breaking a generational curse. But overall, as a people, when you lack that knowledge, then now you're done. So it's a scripture that says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, because they reject knowledge.
You know what's crazy? They never repeat the end of it. They just stop right there. And it says that God will turn on you,
And
basically,
reject you.
rejecting it. And that's what I said to you in the beginning. Do you know what keep repeating the same thing over and over and over is? Is the definition of insanity. And yo, when they keep doing the same thing.
As a black man, I had to, my mom and started talking about the Rizzo years, and then when you go further than the Rizzo, you like, hold up, in 1920, they was doing this in Philly, and then in 18,
we keep inviting them,
so
when we got a family problem. We keep inviting them, keep hoping they change, and they're not. You got all the years ahead of you of how it even started, and the mindset that most of them are in. A lot of us don't even deal with Caucasians, so let's even keep it real. We go to work with them, but you don't really communicate with them, and you don't really dialogue with them and ask them how they feel about us, because a lot of us can't handle what they really gonna say.
But
Me,
it's like what
I
you
talk
said.
to them about this stuff.
It's a family issue. It's an old African proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. So as a family, we gotta fix what's going on first. Then we can start.
And then,
you know what I'm saying? Because we know what angle they coming from. Oh, all right, I know that game. Because what happened, if you go back in time as far as African culture, we were too inviting. Letting the enemy in, letting them see our secrets, our civilization, like how we developed this, how we developed that, the sciences, the man. We teaching them what they do with it. took it, twisted in a diabolical sense to dominate. We did it to cultivate, educate, build.
See, a lot of us, the problem is we don't think that they're different.
It's
That's
the same
problem.
thing.
We think they the same, they not.
It's
And
not
they'll
true.
tell you we ain't
Because their
saying.
culture is rape and pillage.
Yeah.
They even do it to
I'm talking down to the
themselves.
nature of their being. They're different.
That's what I'm trying to tell
Everybody,
you.
and it's not even.
And that's the problem that most of us will not acknowledge.
I mean, I don't disagree with you on that one. That's history.
Alexander the Great, what was he? He's a great conqueror. All he did was rape and pillage his own, throughout Europe.
And now we've taken on their behavior. We want to jump out of planes. We want to rock climb. We want to wrestle alligators. We're not the same people, man.
That's why we have to be careful when we start saying that we love and we like a certain government structure, because we have to make sure our eyes are always accountable. I literally, anybody that's been here, we literally saw Boy and Gerard, when black people had this on lock, go down the drain. They let it go down the drain just to come and buy it and put up apartment buildings in your same neighborhood. So they wait and they look at you like this for 10 years. Destroy your community.
Can I ask something?
Destroy it.
Can I ask
And then
something?
say, yo,
Can I ask something?
it's so
Can I ask
messed up. Can we come in and buy it? Then
You
watch
missed
you
something.
fall and then buy your
You're
buy
missing
your
something.
fire.
They don't watch nothing. They send it in to help you destroy what you're talking about.
No, what I'm saying is.
No. You
What I'm
say they
saying
watch.
is.
They
What I'm
send the
saying
drugs
is.
in,
No, I'm
bro.
not disagreeing
They
with you,
send
brother.
all that in.
I don't want to disagree with you on this,
let's
brother.
get to the root of it.
Because what I'm saying is that we seen black people have property for years and it go down the tubes, and then for them to just come in and say, we're going to make it better.
But that's the plan.
Instead of saying, while you were there, why I can't help you to make it better now?
But that's the plan.
So
there's good and there's evil.
The behavior,
That's the plan.
when you say kumbaya, it's just not happening. So that's
say
why.
what you mean, kumbaya.
No, I'm talking to my man.
Oh, you gonna back to me?
I'm just saying. What I'm saying is.
Don't say kumbaya, boy. I didn't say that word.
I know what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that we have to have an accountable mind, saying that, yo, I see what's happening statistically and it's already proven.
Oh, but listen, you see you're from the government, right?
Yes.
The government paper said they brought the drugs in, but when people told us that in the 70s and the 80s, oh, there was that conspiracy theory.
I mean, yeah, that's already been notified. That's a fact.
I know, but that they the one orchestrated it from the gate.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
But same token.
So you can't bring them in to help you with a problem that already existed from the start.
But this the thing.
You can't invite none of them in there.
This the
And
thing.
you gotta be careful, even the blacks you invite in who fool with them.
As I said, this
All right?
thing. It been our
I'ma
own
say it.
race that been going against our
Well,
own race.
no, that's a whole
It's our own race
nother. I
going
agree with
against
what
our
you're
race.
saying.
I've been through all that, man. I grew up in Chester, man. I know
I don't
about
know.
that hood stuff, man. And I grew up.
I mean, it gets black people
But the thing
on
about it
bills. What are you doing?
I didn't want to say it
I
with
mean,
the
why
boys
are we
here,
bringing in?
but let's put it this way. I'm just gonna put it out there. When I got caught hustling, I saw the papers that said, "Oh, we did it." I said, "Oh, I'm somebody's son. I'm selling poison, and I'm part of the problem." That's why I never hustle no more, because they said we brought it in, and I said to them, they said, "You know what? Yeah, they bring it in. We locked your black A up," is what they said. Us lock you up, they bring it in. But you got caught, nigga.
That's right.
That's all I
That's the
need to
same
hear.
thing happened with Ross. His supplier flipped on him.
That's all I need to hear. But that's the supply.
The real Rick Ross.
The problem.
Free Ray Ricky
The problem
Ross.
is, like you said, you're taking outside things and drugs that don't belong to you, and you're perpetuating to make your own money off the backs of black people. You know you never did pills. When we start doing pills?
That's white people's drugs.
That's weird.
We used to say that. Meth, all that stuff.
Meth and all these
So for the
different.
sake of time, we're gonna wrap this up. You already know I appreciate everybody for doing this. The way that we're gonna wrap it up now is family and investments. So coming together in the past, it seems like people in I give them this. People in Atlanta, Chicago, a little bit of Detroit. I want to say LA, but it's only like 3 cities in America where African American, because I look at stats all the time, where African Americans do have actual wealth, not fake wealth, real wealth. Rich is just you got money. Wealth is I got money for my children's children. So the question for the floor now, this is what we're gonna wrap up on. Is it possible to build generational wealth in the African American community? We know the answer is yes.
Yeah.
But How can we keep that momentum going? We're gonna start with.
It's going to start with knowledge first. The wealth is your knowledge. All right. So as the scripture says, I give you knowledge to gain wealth. So if you have that wealth, if you have that knowledge, now I can gain the wealth and I can teach. Right. And once I can teach, then we can take it from there. Then there's another scripture that's because the mind of the people really have to change. We have to get out of an idolatry mindset, because America is an idolatrous country. We have an Independence Day, but the scripture is it's Acts chapter 4 verse 32 on down. It says the multitude of them that believed were of one heart and one soul. Neither did they say the things that they possessed was their own, for they had all things in common. And with great power gave the apostles witness of the resurrection of the Lord Jesus, and great grace was upon them all. Neither was there any amongst them that lacked. For those that were possessors of houses and land sold them, brought the prices of the things that were sold, and laid at the apostles' feet. And distribution was made to every man according to he had need. And Josie, who was surnamed Barnabas, being interpreted the son of consolation, a Levite, and of the country of Cyprus, having land, sold it, and brought at the apostles' feet. So that basically explains interdependency. It explains unity, just not within the family, but amongst the people. It eliminates idolatry, eliminates the institution or the programming of America. So I truly believe as we go back to God and go back to the Word of God, then we can fall in place and then we can reap the benefits. So it's another scripture that says, if my people who are called by my name, first we got to know that we're his people, we're called by his name. We need to repent, turn from our wicked ways, and he can heal us. So until we really, heal the land, until we really address that and know who we are, then of course we're going to have back and forth. We're going to deal with emotions. We're going to deal with, I feel this, or my experience, or your perspective or perception of life is different from his and hers and this. We got to go back to God, and we can do it.
Man, that's a tough act to follow, man, as far as you went spiritual, right?
Oh, man.
So, if we talk about wealth, I think first and foremost, you got to invest in yourself. From an education standpoint, skill standpoint, trades, whatever it is, become an expert at your craft. And that's a good thing about America. We talked a lot about the negative, but the one thing about America is you can find a lane, you can maximize that lane, you never know where you can go with that. But within that, you're going to have to maximize off of those, whatever that talent is, maximize that talent and find the avenues that complement that. So, for example, myself, I picked up, first, the thing I picked up was a basketball. Within that, the basketball got me my education. My education led to my master's, right? And I have a career in that lane. Then I picked up the camera. What do I do with the camera? I built a business. Well, within that business, now I'm getting into filmmaking. Everything I do, I want to create arms off of that, right? And create multiple streams of income. And if we just talking about wealth, I think what you got to do is create multiple streams of income, manage those streams to the best you can, manage your relationships, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to make your name is what's going to resonate. You can have all these different ideas and whatnot, but if you're not respected, people don't appreciate you, and you don't follow through with what you say you're going to do, show up on time, show up, period. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have that integrity, wealth is going to be impossible, right? So you got to get to the point where you can lose your money and regain it just like that off of one deal because somebody willing to give you that opportunity. That's how you build wealth in my experience. You understand? Not that I'm wealthy, but I'm creating a formula of wealth financially. But I feel as though I'm wealthy in terms of the relationships I've been able to build and the experience I have, and that's where we at.
I would say I do believe it's possible for the black community for wealth to build, and I believe it's many opportunities. I just think like sometimes it just take showing that it's a leader to lead that way, and just learning the craft. Take a time to read about different avenues of when it comes to money or certain other things. So I do believe it's possible that wealth can be So it can continue.
Wealth is definitely obtainable for all of us. I don't think that there's anything that not one person or persons can do individually. We can always do whatever we need to do, whatever we want to do as far as it comes to wealth. Knowledge is obviously the part of it. Most of the reason why we don't have wealth is because we just don't know that we can obtain it. Once you learn the knowledge, you can literally do anything with it. The second most important part to wealth to me is discipline. You can touch a million. Hey, there's people who have been millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires, whatever the case is, and have lost it. You know, I think that's worse than almost not even having it at all, you know, to be completely honest with you. Imagine you had 10 million in your account at one time and now you have $10, like, you know. So just because you can have it, you know, getting there is just it's a 10% of it, just getting there, getting to the wealth thing. You have to maintain the wealth. You have to have people to maintain it for your family when you're not there. So it's like, you gotta really, really be disciplined. I always say, like, if I told you, like, you had to sweep up the whole Broad Street to be rich forever for your life, you know, you could tell a million people that and they'll always get the answer, oh, yeah, we'll do it, that sounds good. But when you get to the people that actually need to do whatever they need to do it, they, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to do it, even though they know the thing they need to do to get rich. So if you have discipline, I think that's the most best thing you can do in wealth, because discipline is going to keep yourself wealthy. You need to do things that you don't like, and I think in this world people don't want to do things they don't like. They don't want to work a job they don't like, but that job that you don't like can teach you to do other things you don't like, which can get you rich. You know, like, I mean, sometimes being rich isn't about doing things that you like oh, we do TikTok and all that nonsense, but you know, you can do something, you can do a job and be great at it and not like it and be rich off of it. But would you not do it just because you don't like it, or would you do it just because it can make you rich? So it's kind of like that mentality like that. So go for the wealth, go for the knowledge, and make it happen.
I don't know if I should have answered this question. I'm not sure about that. Wealth is a concerted effort from a collective. And for me, black people would have to put down something called ego. And I'm not sure if we're there yet, and that's unfortunate. I think there's always going to be wealthy black families, but if you're talking about a wealthy black race, I'm not sure if we have the mindset for that, the collectivism that it takes, the direction. I put here something about like a helpful, being helpful to the Central Empire, where there's people that are lawyers, there's people that are bankers, but they're all collectively helping. That, you know, I love, if you ever get a chance to walk through Chinatown, I mean, it's an amazing layout, the way that they have the restaurants, then they have the bank, then they almost have like the law firm next to the bank, then they have like daycares. It's almost like it's a concerted effort to make sure that they keep the money. They have their own bus depot. They have their own parking garages. I'm not sure if we're seeing that, and I'm not sure if we could get each other to do that. It's a lot of, you know, ego, you know, and everybody wants to do their own thing. But I hope for the better. But I wouldn't just say on camera that we can get to the wealth. I think there's some mental things that we have to work on the inside first to get there.
So we say as a race or as family?
Both. African Americans primarily.
I believe as black people, it's very possible, but it's not always very easy to achieve it. There's a spiritual dynamic, I believe, first and foremost, okay? We have to understand who we are and why we are here. Who are we as black people, and where are we at in this dispensation of time, number one. Number two, once we establish that, we have to have like-minded individuals that come together with the same goal. Because it's easier to become wealthy when you have a group of people who come together, as you said, collectively speaking, and pool our resources. A lot of people never even heard that word. We pool our resources. I'm just not talking about money, I'm talking about knowledge, okay? You may have the credit, he has the idea. This one has the handiwork with the hands. This one here, he know how to formulate plans. You know, it's like the president. He has a cabinet. He's not the smartest one. He has a cabinet. You have to come together, pool your resources. But like I said, it's a spiritual dynamic. And then we don't even know who we are as an individual. We need to go in the mirror and say, well, who am I? A lot of people don't even know who we are, where we even come from, so where are we even going? Okay? So once you establish all those things, is how we can start to build some wealth. But you gotta have a foundation of it. And that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, man. Basically, just reiterate by saying, you know, find out where you come from, come up with a foundation. Y'all all have to work together. It's like I said, from a person like myself who's blessed, who doesn't have to work a day in his life no more. It's real simple. Like I tell people, it's kind of simple. I know it's not, but try moving with each other like the Mexicans did, like the Chinese did. Come up with an infrastructure, come up with a plan, and then accelerate that plan. Like I said, it just takes time. People's gotta understand it takes time. We gotta work together. That's it.
Hey, my man, one more thing. Financial literacy and discipline. Once your financial literacy is in place, once we have that, is the discipline. You gotta have discipline when you have money, because you get money, you know, as we know, you can be a fool with money. But we gotta know how money works also, and a lot of things we don't understand is how credit works. You have all the money in the world, but the credit is gonna go further by degree than the money. This world is built on credit. Even when you buy cars, they don't care about the money that you have. They wanna see, can you maintain that $30 credit card? You want a $16,000 to a $50,000 loan. You say I'm a 700 score, but you got 2 lines of credit, a $300 credit card, and maybe a $500 credit card. You don't understand why you can't get a car. It's simple things like that. We got to understand how credit works. It's just financial literacy. You agree, right? You banking world, right?
Right here. You're absolutely right. Guess what? They come to the bank and get what? They want to come get lines of credit. They want to get business loans. They want to get business credit. And guess what you need to do that? Great credit. Now don't get me wrong. You can. It's not. We don't all start off with great credit. We have had great credit at one point, and it goes down. But again, mentality. You have a 580, it can all only go up from there. You shouldn't even be discouraged. At least you got more room to grow and improve. You had an 800, you missed one little thing happens and you might way down to 650. So again, always something to look forward to, always something to work. I'm at Fall Bank, need business credit, credit card, anything like that, I got you.
So getting to my man that just walked in, my man Zach. Question for the floor.
Oh damn.
Is,
Okay.
Is it,
Okay. All right.
Is it possible for us as African Americans in this country to build wealth, and how?
Yeah, absolutely, it's possible. It just requires discipline from us, man. You know, financial discipline. You know, if we can stop spending our money on the most frivolous stuff, you know what I'm saying, and learn to spend our money within our own community, and learn to, you know, invest. Yeah, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely, we can.
So you don't have to stand up with
I don't patronize nobody, I don't patronize us.
So
I can live in my car in the store.
I'm going to say 100% yes. The reason why is because I've been doing the CP&G for a whole decade, October 17, 2014. And I've seen growth. I've seen growth in Ambition. When me and Ambition met at right downtown, we went to a networking event, and I was like, yo, you know who nice? That boy Ambition. I heard him online. I was talking about him while he was talking about me. He was talking about me. I gotta make it out to a CP&G event. I was like, you know I'm Lewis, right? So that's how we actually met. But getting right to it, I seen people's potential grow, and I think that's the thing. I believe it's a rapper out west. His name is Raz Kai. Some of y'all might know him. He had a song out called Nature of the Threat. Our potential is essential. When we keep talking to each other, everybody, I'll put it to you like this. We're the best when we bring out the best in each other. We always gonna have perspectives about certain things. Every man respectfully has his own perspective. Every man has his own ways about doing things, but we all get affected by certain things in the same way. And you gotta think, whoever is wealthy right now, somebody or something tapped into that potential to make them great. I got crazy faith. I got crazy faith that we all could be black trillionaires. People like, you crazy, but somehow, some way it can happen. But I'm gonna say, when we tap into that potential, when you tap into your talent, when you tap into your gifts, and when you got people coming to you for gifts, it can happen. The reason why a lot of people are wealthy now, especially with the tech age, because they're doing things in concert. What do I mean by doing things in concert? Numbers. The strength in numbers. I've seen it happen. So what you want to do is you definitely want to make sure that you talk to people, because eyes equal buys. The more people that you get in front of, the more people that you can tap into your potential. All right. So right now, I just want to thank everybody who came out. You will see your name up in the credits and the staff. We had a wonderful time with my man Rube over there with the CPNG Shop Talk. We definitely are going to have a second one. Next time we're going to get some women in. So everybody get themselves a round of applause. I'm pretty sure the women going to want to
Definitely better than LeBron James. Especially when he started flowing with it, right?
Yeah, yes.
No, bro.